Hi everybody and welcome along to yet another intro from our garden because the weather's nice, so why not? So I went to Cass Art recently and we've got a vlog about it, so you can look forward to watching that soon. But Cass Art is a fantastic bricks and mortar art shop and it's got all sorts of things. It's absolutely amazing. It's also online, so if you're outside of the UK, you can go and check it out as well. But I went in and I picked up a few new colours to try, and we all love trying new colour palettes, just sort of sharing our ideas on what colours we love and things. And you also know I've been on a bit of a mission for a new Sap Green ever since we heard that Dale Rowney's artist quality one is becoming more and more scarce. So today I'm going to do a little sort of tutorial using a very limited colour palette, using the two new colours I've bought. And yeah, we can try them out, see what they're like, and also get a nice little tutorial out of it. So grab your paints and let's get started. And here are the two colours. We've got deep sap green and Pyrrol Orange. Pyrrol. I'm going to go for Pyrrol. Daniel Smith for both of them. And I'm very excited to try them. I've literally not opened them or done anything. What I tend to do with a new paint tube is just give it a little bit of a squeeze. I once learnt that there might be just a little bit of sort of liquid at the top of the paints. And let's get my palette in. And woo! Oh my goodness. Maybe giving it a squeeze wasn't such a good idea. Okay, maybe don't give these things a squeeze. We'll clean that off afterwards because I don't want to have a huge amount of paint just sitting. Whoops. That was slightly better behaved, that paint. Okay, here are my new colours. How gorgeous is that orange? Wow. So I'm going to just begin by seeing what they can do. So really thick, concentrated colour. It's lovely. It's somewhere between my current orange and red. And it's just really nice and cheerful. It's like a really zesty, fresh orange that you might get in Spain or Portugal. I really like that a lot. So when you get a new colour, it's just really important to play around with it, I think, to see what it can do. So I like to just see sort of what I can get from it when I really dilute it right down. And also see what it does. Some paints seem to have a different character in terms of how they blend and bleed. I mean, that is usually also down to sort of the quality you've bought, and I can always guarantee that Daniel Smith paints are great quality. Just because through using them, I really love them. Now this one is very exciting because this is a potential sap green alternative, even though I know it's going to be a bit darker than my regular sap green, but I do like that rather a lot. So clean my brush off. I'm doing this with a clear water jar both times. And that is rather lovely. So I've got these two colours that they're not exactly complementary colours. That would be more green and pinky red, more of an orange and sort of bluey purpley kind of colour. But they are fairly far away from each other on the spectrum. So what I thought might be interesting is to take some of the orange and try mixing it with a little bit of the green just to see what happens. So I've got my orange here and I'm going to mix in the tiniest bit of the green. And that gives us a really gorgeous rust colour. So it sort of is working on the premise of what happens when you mix complementary colours together. Did you know if you mix two complementary colours that you add a tiny bit of one into another, it creates an amazing kind of muted autumnal tone of the colour, which is just really useful to know. If you ever feel like your colours are a bit too bright, you can just add in a bit of their complementary colour. So I'll just add in a bit more green gently. I mean, the green is a really, really strong colour, so there is going to come a point where it completely overwhelms the orange. So I'll just get a bit more of the orange in there. And that will probably be our last mix of a colour. Yeah, but look at that brown. How lovely is that? And if I go the other way, I've got my green here. And I introduce in some orange. Probably a bit too much orange. And that gives us a really interesting kind of grey, a grey green. If I introduce more orange in, we're going to sort of meet back in the middle somewhere where we find all these brown colours. So it's probably not the biggest surprise that eventually you mix these two colours together and get brown, but it is really nice to see that we've added to our palette potential by bringing these two colours in. We'll have to see what other colours might have to get pushed off the palette. There are certainly colours that don't get used a huge amount, but we'll have to see. So let's paint something. I've realised what these colours remind me of, and it's a sort of olive leaf colours with the varying greens and things. So I've put some clean green up here, and I think we're going to do a nice wreath to play around with these colours. So I've got a size 4 brush, but I've got a range of tones. I've just drawn a circle on a bit of paper, and you know what? You cannot go wrong with a simple old wreath when you're thinking, what do I want to paint? It's fantastic for playing around with colours, with shades, with brush strokes. And what I just want to try with this is to see sort of the different concentrations of paint, getting that all working together, seeing how they blend with each other in different concentrations, how easily it is to sort of blend them, to dry brush, maybe add some detail afterwards as well. I think sometimes when you're feeling maybe a little overwhelmed with what to paint, just going, right, I'm just going to pick 2 colours, maybe 1 brush, 1 type of leaf, 1 shape. Just simplify it right down and see what you can paint. You can either draw around a plate or use a compass to get your shapes. Don't have to do round as well, you could do something else. And the thing I love about wreaths is sort of new ideas form in my head as I sort of continue painting them. Just sort of adding in maybe slightly more wayward leaf shapes, not forgetting about the other colours you're using. That's quite an easy one to do. And then using like hardly any colour at all, just with water on your brush, seeing what happens then. So I'd love to know what colours you think maybe I could sort of say temporary goodbye to in my palette. What don't I use? You probably know better than me. I mean, there are always colours that are on the edges that don't tend to get used very much. I do have quite a few blues. I don't know if I need all the turquoises. Maybe one of those could go. Maybe one of my reds could go. But yeah, let me know in the comments. And then we can have a little shake up and maybe a little palette refresh on the horizon. I think that might be quite nice. Because I've been wanting more green options. And I mean, especially could get rid of maybe one of my reds if I'm bringing in another red option alternative, I suppose. Makes a lot of sense. And we're nearly done. The lovely thing with the size 4 brushes, you can get these gorgeous fine lines. And there we have a rather lovely simple wreath using the 2 new colours that I've got. So it's a really good way of just exploring new colours when you've got them. And yeah, we'll meet again next time and we'll have a little palette refresh. But for now, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to the channel. It makes all the difference with making us more visible to the world, and we want to spread the word about the awesomeness of watercolour. So I will see you again next time. Bye!